Unsurprisingly, there are numerous Easter eggs, movie references, and hidden jokes scattered throughout the Battle of Azeroth expansion, so let's take a look at some of the most interesting and humorous ones the game has to offer. In Stormsong Valley, there is a hostile NPC dressed in black robes, called Severus the Outcast. Surrounding him are 3 dead NPCs covered in blood, named Harold the Scarred, Ranald Flamehair, and Hermie the Wise, a very creepy reference to Severus Snape, as well as Harry, Ron and Hermione.
Look, we've just got to grit our teeth and do it. Tonight when we get back to the common room, we'll both have partners. Agreed? Agreed.
Oh! One of the new food items added in the expansion is called steamed clams, and its flavour text reads, "They are obviously grilled," a nod to a well-known scene from The Simpsons.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
No, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact they are obviously grilled.
You know, one thing I should... Excuse me for 1 second.
Of course.
Located in Stormsong Valley are a group of NPCs themed around the Winnie the Pooh books, including my favourite, the Melancholy Mule, as a reference to Eeyore.
Cheer up, Eeyore. Don't be so gloomy. Try swishing it.
It worked!
Oh, goody! Hooray!
Thanks. It's not much of a tail, but I'm sort of attached to it.
One of the quests in Nazmir rewards you with a pet named Dart, which looks very similar to the baby version of Dustin's pet, D'Artagnan, from Stranger Things.
You're pretty cute, you know that? I'm glad I found you. D'Artagnan. I'm gonna call you D'Artagnan.
In Millstone Hamlet, there are some cranky chickens. If you attack one of them, they will all aggro and swarm you, a reference to The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. At the end of the Zandalar storyline, you enter a scenario called Zandalar Forever, and a number of trolls are also shouting the same phrase, a nod to the Black Panther movie.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
The quest's Ruin Has Come and Flush Them Out are references to lines from Darkest Dungeon.
Ruin has come to our family.
There are a couple of fantastic Monty Python references, including a potion that will turn you into a newt. After 10 seconds, you turn back, and it says in the chat box, you got better.
What makes you think she is a witch?
Well, she turned me into a newt!
A newt?
I got better.
A second reference is the Cottontail Matron, and a wave of angry rabbits that spawn with it.
Look at the bones! Go on, boss, chop its head off. Right, silly little bleeder. One rabbit stew coming right up. Look! Jesus Christ! I warned you.
It's fairly obvious that the events in Drustvar were inspired by the Wicker Man, but the Easter eggs go very deep. For example, the quest Wicker Worship requires you to search for Edwin Maldus. And in the 2006 film, Nicolas Cage's character was called Edward Malice. A number of other NPCs in this quest chain also have names inspired by cultists from the movie. There is also a bonus objective called Not the Bees, referencing a line from the film.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes!
In Mangrove Shore, there are 2 flamingos called Bill and Ted.
You guys are really us. What number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
There is also a frog nearby called Bud. If you click on him multiple times, he will emit 3 unique voiceover sounds, a reference to a Budweiser advert.
Budweiser.
One of the best named enemies in the entire expansion has to be the Lichen King, a clear throwback to the Lich King, and he even has his own Frostmourne.
There must always be a Lich King.
you can find a flight master called Sky Marshal Sanders, a reference to Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC.
I'm Colonel Harold Sanders, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Totes is the name of an elite goat, and Totes my goats is a phrase used by Paul Rudd's character in the movie I Love You Man.
Yeah, totally. Totes my goats. Cool.
In Freehold there is an NPC called Harvey the Birdman, a reference to the Birdman cartoon from the 60s. During the quest Don't Go in the Basement, the text tells you about a threat of being eaten by a brew if you go down to the dark and dangerous basement. This is a nod to the video game Zork, where you're told if you go into dark places, you are likely to be eaten by a grue. Along the windswept coast, there is a cave containing 5 mechanical cats. One of the NPCs in the cave will say 5 mini-cats come together to form one super cat. Nothing can withstand Sabertron. This is an obvious reference to Voltron. In Tradewinds Market, there is an alchemist trainer named Elric Walgreen, a double reference related to his job title, his first name being inspired by Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, and his second coming from the company Walgreens Pharmacy.
It's happening, right now at your local Walgreens.
In the Frog Marsh you can find a frog and pig named Kermit and Miggy, based on the Muppets characters Kermit and Miss Piggy.
The pig is back and ready to put on a...
In the Crimson Forest, there is a bear named Hyogi, accompanied by a picnic basket and some food, a clear Yogi Bear reference.
Hello, picnic basket.
There is a quest called The Days Are Just Packed, given to you by an NPC named Hobbs, where you're tasked with finding Sergeant Calvin. Both these characters and their quest lines have loads of references to the Calvin and Hobbes comic strips. In the Golden Throne there is an NPC called Yasmar who wears purple clothing. Her name and fashion sense was inspired by a character from the movie The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay gang, check out this piece of work. This is Yzma, the Emperor's advisor. Living proof that dinosaurs once roamed the earth.
In the Norwington estate, you're asked by Joma to gather eel pulsating extract to make an energy drink for his dad. The quest is called Monster Energy. In the Freehold dungeon there is a boss called Skycap and Crag, who actually started out as a card in Hearthstone. In the Barren Knoll Cemetery is a raven called Nevermore, a reference to a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. In the port of Zandalar, there are a pair of NPCs called Lenny and Argarin, whose names were inspired by Lenneth and Argarim from the game Valkyrie Profile. Lastly, there is also a house filled with cats on a small island in Stormsong Valley. I don't think it's a reference to anything, but if you like cats, it's pretty cool. So which of these Easter eggs are your favourite, and have you found any that we missed? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this is James for Curse, saying thanks for watching, and enjoy the game.